Okay guys, so I'm going to go over this week's trading in both gold and NAS. So of course we're going to start on gold first. We're going to go to Monday as usual. So first let's find Monday. So I believe this was Monday. So always prior to the New York session, I'm always looking for direction on the 4-hour time frame. So I need to know basically if I'm buying or I'm selling, and I try to keep things as simple as possible, and it's better to just simplify and don't overcomplicate. You basically just ask yourself, are we buying or selling or doing nothing? So 4-hour time frame for me, I'm buying because price is bullish. So I go to the 1 hour. I look at the 1-hour time frame. What do I notice? I notice that price is bullish. It's in between this higher high and higher low. Now I need to find a setup within this area, right? So I look for a buy setup. So prior to the New York session, I noticed this level here, what could be a potential QMR. So I drop down, go to the 30. I noticed that it was this same level here. So I drop down even further. And then that's when I noticed that this was the correct level to use, because this was the actual left shoulder. And you can just see here, right, before it got to the New York session. So this was the setup I was looking for, because the 4 hour is bullish, the 1 hour is bullish. And then what do you guys have? You have a QMR. And that's the pattern, and that's what happened in price, right? So Monday was a good trade. It was just a QMR. So now we go back to the 4 hour. We're going to take a look and see what happened on Tuesday. So let's take a look and see what happened on Tuesday. So same thing. Price is bullish on Tuesday, so I'm looking for buys, right? I go to the 1 hour. I see that the 1 hour is bullish as well. Prior to the New York session, I noticed that price had this rally-based rally. So this is what I marked for myself, right? And then I go to the 30-minute just to see if it makes any sense, because I like to see. And it does make sense. But then I noticed that there's these levels here as well, right? So for me personally, what I do is I will take this, because this is the 1 hour time frame. So this is my plan A. And then here would be plan B. So the only reason that I would take this area here is it by closing price. So that's why I was monitoring. So then by the time it got to the New York session, you can just see here real quick. Let me just delete this. Let me just delete all this. Sorry, guys. By the time it got to the New York session, price never reached down here. I noticed that closing price respected this level. So yeah, if you're asking me which level would I have taken, I would have taken the refined one, which is this one here. Oops. This one here. Why would I take that? You go to the 1 hour time frame, you'll see for yourself. Remember I told you guys about overlap? Price always goes for the overlap more so. So if you look here on the 1 hour time frame, oops, you pretty much ask yourself, which is the correct level to enter from, right? Go back to the 30 minutes so you can see what I'm talking about. See that? Right? And then go to the 1 hour. So obviously this is the correct level to enter from. And that's why price never reached the 1 hour levels, because closing price respected 30-minute. And that's fine. That's why you have to be watching and paying attention, and then you have to have your plan, what you're going to do in case that happens. And that was my plan, is that, if price respected these levels, I was thinking to myself, price is most likely going to go up from there. And if price didn't, and let's just say I took that trade, then obviously this would be my plan B then, right? So it's just the way things are, so otherwise it was a pretty good trade, simple. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's see what happened on Wednesday. Hope that makes sense. Just try to keep things simple for you guys. It's not complicated trading, right? So let's take a look here. So Wednesday, again, price is bullish. I'm looking to buy. So 1 hour time frame. What do I notice on Wednesday? Price is bullish. I'm looking to buy. What do I notice? I noticed that the price had a rally-based rally here, but price never reached it. You can see here. I was waiting for price to pretty much, and then come back and tap it, and then continue to go up. But the price never did it, so that's okay. So for me personally, there was no trade on Wednesday. This wasn't a good trade for Wednesday. There was a reversal though, which was this QMR, but I don't take those. Very seldom I do, but I like to follow direction and follow 4-hour time frame. That's usually where I get everything from. So now let's go to Thursday. So Thursday, price is bullish again. Price created a level of support, which is also a higher low. So I go to the 1 hour. I'm looking to buy. So what do I notice on the 1 hour? That this was I think this was the last lower high, and then price broke it, so price shifted bullish. So the 1 hour and the 4 hour is technically bullish, right? Now I'm looking for buys. I did not see any setup prior to the New York session. Just gonna go down. I didn't see anything. The only thing I saw was this QMR level, this which came later. But obviously you can see price never went back to it, right? So, and then I refined it to here, right? And then you can see price never made it there. That's okay. If you're wondering, would I have taken this? Yeah, you can because it's a shift of structure. You can have this as a plan A and then this as a plan B. It's up to you how you want to do things. Me personally, I didn't do that. I was just waiting for this level to get tapped, but it didn't get tapped, and I only trade from 8 to 10. So once it got to 10 o'clock, that's when I just shut down. So for me personally, there was no trade on Thursday. So now I go to Friday. Take a look at Friday. So price of the New York session, what I noticed is that price is creating a higher low. So I'm looking to buy. That's just what I'm thinking to myself. I have no idea. I'm just basing it off of what I'm seeing. And then what I noticed is that price is bullish on the 1 hour. And then what I noticed prior to the New York is that again price had a, remember what I showed you guys the other day? Rally-based rally, right? So I mark these. Again, I go to the 30. I check. So that would be this level here. You can see price is clearly going up, down, up. And then price chose to respect this level and then go up. Now for me personally, I set my pending orders. I don't wait for closing price. So I set my pending order here. And then I set my pending order here. Price, when I noticed the price didn't tap this and it stopped me out here, I'll just show you because I use 3 points. So I'm just going to show you what I do. So this is how I manage my trades, just so you have an idea of what I do. So I always target 3 points, 24 points, and then I close 50% at 12 points and the other 50% at 24 points. That's my TP1 and TP2, right? So what happened is price took me out here. I lost this trade. So I wait for closing price, right? So my trade is the 1 hour rally-based rally, but I'm monitoring on the 30-minute. And I noticed that price respected this level. So all I do in this case is set another pending order at this level, and then now this becomes my new trade here. And then you can see that this trade won, right? So that's how I give myself a second chance. I only give myself a second chance if I get stopped out and the level is still valid. So meaning like this trade here, like this was my entry, right? This is my entry. Price stopped me out. I gave it a second chance. And then price went up, right? And it ended up winning. So sometimes that'll happen. You just have to have a reason for why you give things a second chance. And that was my reason, is that price respected this level. So that was the reason. And that was Friday. So now let's move over to NAS. Hope that made sense. Go to the 4 hour. Again, we'll start on Monday. Just kind of see what transpired on Monday. NAS, you have to trade a little bit different than gold. I'll show you what I mean. So price is bearish. This was the last breakout level on gold, NAS. So on the 1 hour time frame, I would have been looking for sells. So 4 hours bearish, 1 hour is bearish. For me, this would have been the level I would have been monitoring to sell from. But you can see price never reached it, and then it was outside session time. So for me, this is not valid. So I wouldn't have taken this. it was a skip day. All you can do is reset, go to the 4 hour, find out what's happening the next day. Next day, you can see that price is still bearish, right? You have the lower high, lower low. So I'm looking for sells. I go to the 1 hour. I notice that 1 hour is bearish, and I also notice that I have a QMR set up here, right? This is the QMR. You guys are familiar with this pattern by now, I hope. You have the high, low, tap, right? Oh, excuse me. So if you remember, I always refine it to the 15. So with NAS, I always refine the level to the 15. So this is the level I refine it to. So this would be the level I would enter from. And that would be the apex. And go back to the 1 hour. And you can see that's where price tapped and went down, right? But if you look at the session time, it was outside of session. So for me personally, I only trade till 10. This was at 11 o'clock, so there was no trade. There was no trade on Tuesday because that was outside of session time. So me personally, I would have never taken that anyways. But I'm just showing you how you use direction and then you look for setups in that direction, right? So now let's go back to the 4 hour. Let's take a look. Let's see what happened on Wednesday. On Wednesday, price is still bearish. Oops. Go to the 1 hour, price is bearish. Me personally, I didn't take any trades this day. I didn't like the way the price was moving. There was no obvious setup. If anything, I would have taken this. Excuse me. This would have been my entry, but price didn't get there. Now I removed pending order because I'll show you why. Excuse me. Go to the 15-minute and you'll see exactly why. Because price created a reversal. It's a triple bottom, triple bottom, double bottom, sideways, whatever you want to call it. So when I noticed this, this sell basically becomes invalid, right? And then what happened? It used that same level to create a QMR, right? If you notice that. Low, high, lower, low, higher, high, and then price came back down, right? You notice that flip, right? So I hope that makes sense. So far, there's just no good trade in NAS this week. Gold had all of the trades, but the week's still not over, so let's take a look to see what happens the next day. This was Thursday. So Thursday, price is bullish. I noticed a rally-based rally, so I mark this, and I go to the 1 hour. What do I see? Price is bullish on the 1 hour. What do I notice? There's a QMR level here. Drop down to the 30, then the 15, because I'm refining. This is the level I use. Now, if you remember me telling you guys, when the apex is too far away, see, apex is all the way down here. I said you got to use the next level. So this is the level. So these would be the two levels I would use to enter from. So it's a QMR. See, right? It's clear the daily QMR. And you can see where price tapped in, right? So, and then that went up. So that's basically how you read direction and how you enter in on the correct level. So that was Thursday. Let's take a look and see what happened on Friday. So Friday, So what I noticed is that Friday is obviously bullish because it's in between this higher high and higher low. So I'm looking for buys. I go to the 1 hour time frame just to see if price is bullish or bearish. I notice that price is technically, let me see. Price is technically bearish. So I need to drop down and see if there's any buy setups within this area. Because I'm following the 4 hour. So I'm looking for buys. I don't see anything on the 30. Excuse me. Drop down to the 15. 15. I noticed that price created this level here, but and they had a rally-based rally here, which was a breakout. But sometimes you can go down to 5 minute if it's not super obvious. This was more obvious to me. EMR, right? And then you mark the apex, as I told you guys. Excuse me. Now is the setup for NASDAQ, right? Low, high, lower, low, higher, high, and then price tap, and then went up, right? So, hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, that's pretty much it.